everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video we're going to be doing some autumn nail art using the new Kiki London Autumn 2022 collection. So as you can see, there's 6 new colours in this collection, and over on the Kiki London channel I have swatched them and do talk a little bit more in depth about the collection. So if you do want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description box below to the Kiki London YouTube channel. But today here on my channel we're going to be doing an autumn design using 3 of the colours that are from this collection. We're going to be using some decals, some stamping and some gold leaf as well. So I really hope you all enjoy the video. So for this video I decided to use Vanilla Latte, which is the gorgeous creamy shade, Sage Green and then Apricot Blush, and I thought these 3 colours worked absolutely beautiful together. So I'm going to be working on display tips for this video, but of course if you was working on yourself or a client you would need to do all of your prep and base coat before you come in and apply your gel polish colours. So we're going to start off with applying our first layer of gel polish. So these gel polishes, they require 2 thin coats. So coming in with the first coat, I have to say I was very impressed with how pigmented they are. The Sage Green especially, I reckon when doing things like nail art you can get away with doing only 1 coat. I'm especially loving the Vanilla Latte though as a base for some nail art. So I wanted to have 2 nails in this set with that Vanilla Latte base, as that's the nail we're going to be putting our water decals and a little bit of glitter on as well. Now originally I popped the Apricot Blush down on this nail and the Sage Green down on the thumbnail, but I do swap those 2 colours around because I preferred how it looked having the Apricot Blush on the thumbnail. So luckily it was just on a display tip, so it was easy to swap those 2 nails around. But there you have it, we've done that first coat of colour and look how gorgeous the pigmentation is. Now it is recommended to do 2 thin coats of colour, so after curing those for 30 seconds, this is where I decided I wanted to swatch those 2 colours around. Then we're going to come in and do our second coat of colour, and this is going to give you a much more even colour. It's going to make everything look even more opaque, especially on the Vanilla Latte. I'm really loving this Sage Green. This was my first proper time using it in a set of nails and it's absolutely gorgeous. It works really well with the Vanilla Latte as well. I think it's such a beautiful shade. Now if you have checked out this collection, do let me know in the comments below what you think of it, which is your favourite colour. I do have a discount code for Kiki London, so I'll leave that in the description box below as well. The gel polish collection is currently on sale, but you can still get a further 10% off with that discount code as well, so you can get them for an absolute bargain price. So once we've done that second coat of colour on all of the nails, I'm going to pop these in to cure for a final 30 seconds. Now I'm curing in an LED lamp. If you are curing in a UV lamp, then you will need to cure these for a minute. Also, I'm using the Kiki London lamp. It's always recommended that you use the lamp for your gel polish system, but if you are using a different lamp, you may need to play around with those cure times. So now that we've got our gel polish bases done, we're going to come in and do some nail art. So I have these super cute autumn water decals from Kiki London. I can't remember the exact name of this particular sheet, but I'll check and leave it in the description box below. But I absolutely love these because it's got a mix of pumpkins, we've got some sunflowers, some leaves. It's got such a cute mix going on. So I've cut out a bunch of them that I plan on using, and to apply these I'm going to be using the jelly stamper method. So to do this method you're going to need a clear jelly stamper, you're going to need some room temperature water. I've also got a silicone tool to help ease out any creases, and then my brush to apply my water. So I'm popping that image face down onto the stamper, giving it a good push, and then I'm just brushing on some room temperature water and then just making sure that to press that down just to make sure it sticks nicely onto my jelly stamper and that water's soaking in. And then as you can see, after a few seconds you're able to slide off the backing paper. And then looking through my stamper, I'm just lining up where I want my decal to go, pressing down firmly, a little rock from side to side, and then that decal is going to stick down on to the tacky inhibition layer that your gel polish has left behind. And then using my silicone tool, I'm just going to smooth out any creases or bubbles that might be in that water decal. And then this water decal did come off of the nail ever so slightly at the edge. So taking my round nail art brush, I'm just dipping that in a little bit of acetone and then melting away any of that decal that comes off of the nail. You want to make sure you remove any of this, because if you was working on a client or your own nails, that little bit that's overhanging wouldn't get sealed in. And then if you picked or peeled it, it'd end up peeling the whole decal and your top coat off. So do make sure that anything that's hanging off the sides of the nails is removed. You can remove it either using the acetone or you can file it away, but I personally always find the acetone way a lot easier. Then I'm going to come in and just add another leaf on in exactly the same way down here, just so it fills the nail a little bit more. Then I am going to pop this aside. We're going to add a little bit of glitter detailing around those water decals, but I'm going to move on and apply the rest of my decals to the second nail. So on this nail, as you can see, I've popped down 2 water decals, and then I'm just brushing on that water at the back of them. And then once that water's set in, I'm going to peel off the backing sheet on just one of those decals, place that one down first, and then we'll move on to the second one. So on this one, I've used a mix of 2 different pumpkins, and I find it quicker doing it this way. If I know I'm applying more than one decal, it's a lot quicker to apply both to your stamp at the same time. Just spread them out a little bit so you've got a bit of room to work with. And then I'm going to do exactly the same again with that second pumpkin, just using my silicone tool, one, to make sure they've adhered nicely to the nail and that they're lying nice and flat, and then 2, just to get out any creases that there might be in the image. And then again, this one come off the nail a little bit because I want it to get nice and close around that cuticle area. So I'm just using a little bit of acetone to melt away the water decal. And then as I'm doing that, I'm also making sure to run over it with the silicone tool just to make sure it is nice and smooth. This one was being a little bit stubborn and didn't want to melt away with the acetone. I think it's because you do need to apply a little bit of pressure, and I was being careful because you don't want to get any acetone on the decal that you want to stay there. The acetone is going to melt away the image, so you want to make sure that you are only applying it to the parts of the image that you want to remove. And then again, we're going to come in and apply one more decal. Here, I was just cleaning up the nail. Sometimes when you're applying water decals with the jelly stamper way, you may get little bits of, I don't know, little bits stuck to the nail. In this case, it was just like little bits of dust. So I was just making sure to remove them. And then once I have got those 2 decals down, we're going to come in and seal them in using some top coat. And I'm going to do this before I apply my glitter so that I've got a nice smooth base. So I'm using the Kiki London top coat. This one does leave a tacky layer. So the top coat I reach for if I know that I want to come in over the top with anything, because it's got that tacky layer there after curing still. It's going to help whatever you apply next adhere nicely. So I'm coming in and just applying a thin layer of this to the entire nail. It's going to seal in those decals and make sure basically that this step of the nail is done. And then once I've applied that to both of the nails, we're going to pop those in to cure. And just look how gorgeous those decals look over the vanilla latte base. A lot of the time I like to do my water decals over a white base, but I'm loving this new colour. It's very, very soft and delicate, but it's bright enough to still help your decals pop. So then for my glitter, I'm taking some of this 24K gold glitter top coat. So this is kind of like a gold glitter flake, and it is a top coat, so you can apply this to the entire nail if you wanted a glittery finish to your gel polish colour, but I'm just wanting to add in some little gold details. So I've popped some of it down on my palette, and then I'm just coming in here and there around the decals and adding in some of that gold flake. I love applying it this way if you only want to add a subtle hint of gold rather than a full-on look. So with adding it to your plate and applying it with a nail art brush, you've got a lot more control over how much product is going on the nail. And I love adding little bits of glitter or flakes or chromes to your water decal designs, because it just gives them a little something extra. Basically, I think it looks really, really pretty and takes water decals to a whole nother level. So once I've got that done, I'm going to pop that in to cure for 30 seconds, and that is those 2 nails done. We will just do a final layer of top coat at the end just to seal everything in and leave us with a smooth base. So now we're going to move on to working on to the 2 sage green nails, and on these nails I wanted to add in a little bit of gold leaf. So this particular gold leaf, I believe, is from Charlie's Nail Art. I do also have a discount code for Charlie's, so I will leave that in the description box below. And with the gold leaf, it can be a little bit finicky or fiddly to use. So I've just taken some tweezers and I've broken up some of the larger pieces into smaller pieces and just left it in the little tray. And then using my nail art brush, I'm basically just pressing that gold leaf down into the tacky layer that's left behind after you cure your gel polish. So I'm just pressing that down. It's very easy to apply. It's kind of just fiddly to break up. So once you have got it broken up, it's very easy. You simply place it down where you want it to go on the nail. And then I like to kind of burnish it in just to make sure it has adhered down nicely. And there's not too many pieces sticking up. It's nice and flat kind of thing. When you're working with a gel polish, you want to make sure everything is lying nice and flat so that you can seal it in with your top coat and end up with a nice smooth base. So I'm doing that on both the nails. I kind of just wanted to add it up in the corners or just roughly around in the cuticle and tip area of the nail. I didn't want to come in with too much because this is just going to be underneath our stamping, but I wanted to add a pop of gold to these two nails. Again, when you are working with your gold leaf, I find it easier to break it up before applying it to the nail. So here I wanted some smaller pieces, so I'm just breaking that up again and then picking them up with my brush. You can apply a larger piece to the nail and break it up on the nail, like just by brushing it with a firm pressure with your brush. But I've always found it a little bit easier to just break it up before applying. And then here I'm kind of just brushing into it so that some of the edges disperse away and it doesn't look too harsh. As you can see, it gives off a bit more of a rough abstract look. And then I'm going to seal this in before we come in and apply our stamping. One, because it's going to smooth everything out, and two, because if we make any mistakes with our stamping and we want to wipe off the stamping, we're going to be able to wipe off that stamping without moving or removing the gold leaf. I also find adding in the layers of a top coat helps seal in the overall design, so everything is just going to have a nice smooth finish when it does come to your final layer of top coat. So I'm just keeping this nice and thin because we are going to be coming in and adding another layer. Now we're ready to move on and add our stamping. So for my stamping plate today, I'm using the Autumn Leaves one from Miss Lucy UK. She has an amazing selection of new stamping plates, so if you haven't already, then I do recommend checking them out. Again, I do have a discount code that gets you 10% off her site, which is in the description box below, so do check that out if you want to save some pennies. For my stamping polishes today, I'm using the white from Clear Jelly Stamper, and I'm also using the Clear Jelly Stamper Big Bling stamper. So I'm going to give my plate a good scrub using some acetone to remove any previous stamping polish or dust or dirt that might be on the plate. Then I like to apply a generous amount of stamping polish, scrape, roll my stamper across the top, and once I'm happy with the image, I'm just going to remove any image that I don't want to stamp down. So any excess image that you've picked up, I like to remove that using a lint roller. Then as you can see, I just stamp down, rock my stamper from side to side, and then lift off. So let's do the other nail. So again, I've already given my plate a good clean with some acetone, applied my stamping polish, given it a good scrape. It is a little bit tricky when you're using the images on the corner of a plate, I find. Then once that has picked up, I'm going to take my lint roller and remove the excess, press down, a little wriggle and pull off. So this video I've just flying through, just doing a hint of stamping, but I do have lots of stamping tutorials that go a little bit more in depth where I share some tips and tricks that I find make stamping easier. So if you do, check out my YouTube channel and check out this stamping playlist that has lots of helpful stamping videos. But of course, if you do have any questions on stamping, I am always happy to help in the comments below. So I'm going to add this final leaf. I love layering stamping over either glitter, foils, or in this case gold leaf. I just love that layered effect that it gives off. So that was that now finished, and then we are now coming towards the end of the design, because at this point I decided I was going to leave the Apricot Blush plain. I felt as though the set had a lot of nail art in it, and the orange from the pumpkins complemented the apricot blush beautifully, so I decided to leave that one plain. Let me know if you would have done some nail art on this one instead. I don't usually leave one nail plain, but because there was a lot of nail art going on in the other nails, I did. So for my top coat, I wanted to have a glossy and matte effect, so I'm coming in with the No Wipe rubber top coat on our 2 water decal nails, and I'm also going to come in on the apricot blush with this one as well, because I wanted all 3 of those nails to be glossy. And then the 2 sage green nails, I wanted them to be matte, so I'm going to come in with the Kiki London matte top coat for those 2 nails. Now, the rubber top coat does require a 60-second cure, so I'm going to pop all of these nails in to cure for 60 seconds once I have finished applying my top coat, and then I have left some pictures and a clip of the finished result. I really loved how this set turned out. I loved the green and the orange together, even though they're not 2 colours that I might normally necessarily put together. I thought it just gave off such a beautiful cozy autumn vibe. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this set. If you did all enjoy it, then please do give the video a thumbs up, as it really helps my channel. Leave me a comment below, and if you aren't already subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you did. And then I shall see you all again in my next video. I hope you're all doing okay. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.